How did you meet Ron Blant?
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Everything's falling apart.
How did you meet Ron?
I met him in '81 on the set of this weird softball picture that he was making.
Got it.
Okay.
Who did you meet? Is
Ron.
it gonna say I met Ron?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that could be confusing.
Okay.
Let's try that again. How did you meet Ron Blant?
I met Ron Better?
That's really good. One more time, just like that.
So, I guess we start with Nick.
So this is Ron. I'm driving around in my car. I figured this could be maybe a special feature or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm in makeup. I'm driving around. Maybe it could be stock footage of some sort. I don't know that this will be necessary for anything. But while I got the makeup on, I figure it couldn't hurt. You know, just to get to spend a little extra time with Ronnie. Everybody loves Ronnie. I'm pretty sure that's what the show is called. Go fuck yourself. And Ron's awesome. The end.
The first time I really met Nick Howard, I've seen him around before, but the first time I actually really met Nick Howard was back in 2002. He was working in a Halloween store, and I was going in to buy Halloween costume stuff. And we just started geeking out about all kinds of things, and we started hanging out. I wanted to be a filmmaker, he wanted to be a filmmaker, and he had made some films. Like Stabaclaus. Unfortunately, for this featurette, I couldn't really get anyone else to make a screen appearance. I was able to get interviews from them, but audio only. And so, using the best in modern special effects, I've made facsimiles of those people so that I could have a presence for them on screen, for you. And I feel like once you see it, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Stabaclaus was a very dumb idea I had when I was younger. It was a short that I made with some friends, and I don't think a copy of it still exists, which is probably for the best. But it was gross and goofy, and I had my very furry friend Zach shave Thug Life into his chest hair. It was legible. You could read it, and that was really kind of the punchline. But there was some humor that maybe wouldn't hold up in 2023 or 2024 as it will be before anyone sees this.
I'm not going to lie. At no point did I ever actually want to make a Stabaclaus movie. Never.
Mike, he's been my film producing partner for 20 years, and I remember when I came up with the idea for Christmas Chaos, our Stabaclaus picture, for me it was something that would be really fun and easy to produce, and we wouldn't have a lot of people on screen at the same time, so it would be easier to schedule the shoots, and it would have funny characters, and we could kind of work in different, movie scenes or commercials or different stuff to, whatever we felt like doing to be fun. And as I pitched Mike on the project, his face just fell and he's like, God damn, man, we've had 20, 30 ideas that we could be working on right now. And this is really your focus, is developing and working on and writing this.
Nick came up with the idea to make this mockumentary in 2018. We even started to film a little bit of it after he finished getting the script down. I made an alternative script for a different fake horror movie franchise called Heavy Metal Massacre. He didn't want to do it, but he folded it into his idea so that Heavy Metal Massacre is now part of the Stabaclaus universe.
He didn't seem sold, and so it took quite a bit of bullying over the years to get this movie made, because frankly I needed his help. But ultimately I was somehow able to convince him that this was a good idea, and we put together quite a little team and got this shit done. I'm pretty proud of it.
It was happening. It was something I couldn't stop anymore. He told me that I had to play one of the characters in the movie. And I said, I will only do one thing or the other. I'll either edit your movie, or I'll be a character in your movie. Not both. You can see how well that worked out.
So there were a few times on this movie where life imitated art, or art imitated life, or however you want to put that. But there were definitely times where I was feeding Mike coffee until 3 a.m. to get that final cut done, and we'd kind of laugh because our characters, that's something that their relationship in the movie that they've got going for them. Ron's special coffee, trying to get that final print done in 6 days or whatever their crazy timeline was. One of the more frustrating times that life imitated art was the blood geyser scene.
I feel like I need a cigarette.
Okay. Tell me the story.
Is that okay to have the cigarette thing?
Absolutely.
So we had this blood pump, and we had this hose that ran up the actor's leg. And if we timed it just right, we could trigger the huge blood eruption. We only had one shot to take this, and whenever he ad-libbed the line, needless to say, it really ruffled some feathers.
If you'll remember in the documentary, the whole joke of the blood geyser scene is that there's not supposed to be any dialogue in that scene. It's supposed to be a stabbing with some 80-yard screams, nice and easy to cut together, and one guy kind of ruins the big effects set piece of the movie because he can't keep his goddamn mouth shut.
When we filmed it, we gave him some very simple instructions on what was going to happen. We told him not to say anything because it would make it more difficult for us to cut this together.
In the documentary, that's of course Roy Ward who says, "Merry Christmas, motherfucker," on their one take. I probably should have delayed the shoot when we had to find this actor we had to search 2 different parking lots. It was a drive, and he wasn't being very clear on where he was. He was an old friend of my partner's who was very excited about being in a horror movie, who wanted to be killed in a horror movie, and we needed a guy like that. So we went and picked him up. He didn't drive, and when we picked him up, we realized that he wasn't driving because he was fucking hammered.
We were going to try to be in and out with all the parts that didn't have a geyser of blood in like 20 minutes, and instead it took 5.5 hours.
He had a backpack full of oil cans, like big 32-ounce cans of beer. It was the cheap shit, too. And he had, I think, 12 of them. And he was smoking weed. And don't get me wrong, I love smoking weed on a movie set. That's good times. But, there's a time and place for that. And so, you don't get fucked up right before you shoot. And he couldn't follow direction. And the direction was, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Wit, shut your fucking mouth. You don't have any lines in this scene. Stop saying my dick.
And we took 15 minutes of our time to have rehearsals. And we're like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We want you to cock your head up and just open your mouth and have nothing come out. Ah! He did it wrong immediately. Nope, wrong.
Stop it, you're making me fart. I'm gonna send back a real one.
We need to put more blood in.
Scott, fresh blood.
More blood.
Okay, stop.
This is going in the making of.
Yeah.
This is fucked
Oh
up.
shit.
Y'all better blur my face out. I don't know what to
Make sure that you have your lights on when you watch this video.
Yeah.
Blood getting farted out of a man's back.
Like, can you lay the hose down flat? Yeah, from what I hear, you think it's delicious. But, like, I don't know.
Alright, we gotta hold on.
You want a towel?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so pretty much he would just he was so fucking hammered that he just wouldn't take direction or perform the scene as written or as directed. He would do the same fucked up thing every time, every take, and we'd pull him aside and we'd say, "Hey, try it this time, but don't say words. You can give us screams, right? But don't say anything because your character doesn't have any lines. You're ruining the takes where you talk." And then what he would do is the exact same fucking thing. Take after take after take after take.
Oh, shit! No! Oh, shit! No! Oh, shit! I love the scream, but also don't do it. Just stare intensely, because if you do it, then we can't cut. Oh, yeah. My dick! My dick! Oh, shit! Oh, my dick! Oh, my dick! Oh, my dick! Oh, my dick! My dick! Oh, my dick! Oh, my dick! My dick! Oh, my dick! Scott, don't move any closer to the...
This is rehearsal.
This is for real.
So I'm gonna do the squirt.
You're gonna do the squirts this time.
Okay. I'm very nervous about squirting.
I bet. I'm nervous too. We'll see how it goes.
Everyone was their first time.
3, 2. 3, 2.
Cutting that scene together is a miracle. I watch it now and I go, holy shit, this works as a scene. I can't believe I did this. Because it was a nightmare. None of his takes matched. He was just too fucking wasted to work with. I'm kind of glad that in my personal life, it turned out that this guy is actually a massive, massive douchebag, and I don't have to feel guilty about never working with him again.
We made the movie. By September of 2020, it was finished. We had edited the movie. Well, I had edited the movie.
There are some parts of Christmas Chaos that make me laugh pretty consistently, but they're typically parts I didn't write.
He sounds panicked and maybe a little coked out, and he asks if I can afford airfare to LA. He tells me he needs to help him save Stabaclaus from the Jews. In retrospect, I can't guess why I got involved.
I memorized that script backwards and forwards over the years, just because we worked on it for so long. So the part where Stabaclaus falls down the stairs, he gets lit on fire and kicked down the stairs.
Call me the letter H because I turn asses into ashes.
She lights him on fire, pushes him down a staircase.
I'm on fire! I'm dead now.
All of his lines there were ADR'd while we were high in a car. Weed had just become legal, and we went to a weed store for the first time, and we got really stoned. and I had been messing around with the audio, and so I had a really nice editing program on my phone, and I pulled up the clip and I said, hey, give me some oofs and ahs as you're bouncing down the stairs. And then and we did that 3 or 4 times, and then I said, hey, just narrate it for me like you think the audience is stupid. Tell them you're on fire. Tell them you're dead when you die. I always forget that that's in the movie until I see it, and it's made me laugh until I've cried before. I also really like the Stabaclaus cartoon, because that's another thing that I didn't write.
Randolph, my most radical reindeer, why did you stop? That sleeping potion isn't going to last forever. Ho! Sweet fancy Moses! Santa! Fuck!
Mike Trupiano just kind of surprised us with that. He's like, hey, check it out. I learned how to do 80s animation, and I have this 15-second clip. We did change, like, he had originally come up with some basic dialogue, and we changed it a little bit.
Randolph, my most radical reindeer, why did you stop? That sleeping potion isn't going to last forever. Oh, sweet fancy Moses.
Santa!
I think we have an 8-second F-bomb with a 4-second beep right in the middle. That's I think a really funny joke, and not something that I wrote. It's something that we just came up with when we were editing it.
Where are you going, Michael? I'm going to the North Pole. Make that son of a bitch pay. He killed Christy. Can't let you go alone, Michael. You know the bro code. If you're going, I'm going with you. Bros till the end. Bros till the end.
Anyway, that's what's going on here. And yeah, playing with my camera, still in Ron makeup, taking a little break. Want to pick Kathleen up, picking up Doodle, and then back to set to shoot more. Roy's taking a little break, Ron's taking a little break, and then we're back to it to finish our first day of shooting. It's exciting stuff. All right, so this has been your Ron Port, which is a report from Ron. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm Stabaclaus!
Guys, you said we were gonna do costumes.
No, man, I said specifically, do not wear the Stabaclaus costume to this.
And I told you to wear something nice.
This is nice.
Well, it's a nice segue into our next point, folks, which is Stabaclaus, the greatest horror movie franchise that never was.
We've used our quarantine time to make a feature-length film, in the vein of Never Sleep Again.
Or Crystal Lake Memories.
Or In Search of Darkness.
Right now, we have the entire movie filmed, edited, everything. It's all ready to go. But we need to seek funds for some finishing costs, which means we gotta polish it and get it ready for real-world distribution.
We had plans for distribution, but things happened, and they fell through. I wasn't expecting Troma to be a part of any of this, but here we are.
Troma means quite a lot to me. There's this intro to Lloyd Kaufman's Make Your Own Damn Movie that's written by Trey Parker that I've always really connected with, and it's about how Lloyd kind of changed his life twice. Once when he was a young kid seeing Troma movies that he was probably too young to see, and just really connecting with the fact that they didn't always have the budget or didn't always have the effects, but always kind of just did whatever the hell they wanted. And they had the freedom to do that, to be goofy or scary or fucked up, and they could hit 12 different tones. And then the second time he changed his life was when he put his movie out, when, you know, Lloyd liked Cannibal the Musical. And I always thought for me that second time was when those books came out in my early 20s and I was an aspiring filmmaker, and it's like having the master of B cinema whispering right in your ear and telling you all the secrets. So really, if you think about it, Lloyd has kind of changed my life 3 times, which puts me one up on Trey Parker. So I kind of win.
The first Troma movie that I ever saw was Cannibal the Musical. It might still be my favorite. If it wasn't for Cannibal the Musical, I wouldn't have really gotten into Troma. I discovered that back when I was in high school, and that's how I kind of fell into all of the rest of it.
The first Troma movie I ever saw was The Toxic Avenger 2 on USA. Up all night. I saw it when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I'm pretty sure Rhonda Shear hosted the episode, and it broke my little brain and rewired my DNA. I'd always wanted a Toxie mask. I'm a mask collector. I have a bedroom full of masks, and they're hard to find. Troma makes them occasionally. They'll go up on the Troma Direct website. They seem to sell out before I see them. I've never time it right, and so it's been something I've wanted for a long time. And then as a birthday present, my partner got me the Trick or Treat Studios Toxic Avenger mask, and because I am who I am, within 3 days, I think I was putting the costume together, rewatching the movies, putting together the boots and the tights and the tutu. And that is when DestroyTheBrain.com announced that they were going to be doing a 2-night showing of The Toxic Avenger at the De Pere Cinema. And I had never seen The Toxic Avenger on the big screen. I whipped my tutu out and took some pictures with the mask, and they were happy to have me out both nights to take pictures with the crowd and to represent the monster hero.
First off, we want to apologize to Vincent Minnelli and Judy Garland, sincerely from the Alamo Drafthouse and Troma Entertainment. Meet me in St. Louis, at the Alamo, ho ho. You will love to Troma movies, very apropos. Hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm and 4K Toxie, here we go ho. If you meet me in St. Louis, at the Alamo and Springfield, Missouri.
So when I found out Uncle Lloyd was coming to town, I got excited, and I again whipped out the costume. I had a couple of weeks advance notice, and so I was able to get some pictures of me in my costume and put them up on my horror groups online. And then I got a private message from someone who said, "Hey, these are great. If Lloyd's coming to town, why don't you just be his monster?" And I said, "Well, I don't know how to reach Lloyd, and do that." And he goes, "Well, what's your email address?" And less than an hour later, I was in contact with Lloyd. He said, "Those pictures look great. Can you do Saturday in Springfield?" And I immediately said, "Yes, I will do this." When you get to be, your Uncle Lloydie's monster, you just say yes, and it was an exciting weekend. We took an impromptu road trip and spent all of Saturday driving. I wouldn't take back a minute of it, though.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the cast of everyone from Toxie is here, including Mr. Lloyd Kaufman.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. I'll be there. Toxie, stars of hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm and Curse of the Weird Deer. And if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Reynolds.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you all for coming. We've got Ryan Reynolds over here with the Mark, thank you again. Thank you, all of you, for coming. And thank you, Toxie and Sarah.
I'm curious, what is it that you tell your actors to get them to act that way, and what is it that made you, what drove you to want that to be the trademark?
Well, I like the old silent movies where people go, I don't know, they overdone that kind of stuff. Sarah has a question while we're waiting.
Okay, so in relation to Citizen Toxie, right?
15 years ago in Tromaville, New Jersey, the toxic chemical capital of the world, little mop boy Melvin Ferd, a 98-pound weakling, was teased, taunted, and other bad stuff until he fell into a barrel of toxic chemical waste, transforming little Melvin into a hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. Melvin became the Toxic Avenger, the first superhero from New Jersey. Then, 2 rotten sequels were made. Sorry about that. This is the real sequel.
And I know that it came out after Columbine. And after Columbine, I know that a lot of movies were taking out a lot of violence, especially gun violence. What made you veer so hard in the other direction?
Very good question. We should memorialize that stuff. And the sad thing is, Citizen Toxie, which I consider the most profound of Toxie's movies, it dealt with the school shootings. We've got many more now. Abortions, which were almost the Supreme Court just totally screwed that up. So the point is, the stories that are in the newspapers are wilder than anything we could think of. And the problem here is that things don't get any better. So you should focus on them. But in fact, after 9/11, Spider-Man removed the Twin Towers, but we left it in Citizen Toxie, and it opened shortly after 9/11 in New York, and the audience applauded. They were standing up applauding because there you go. I don't know what I just said, but did I answer your question? Oh, good.
This is an American-made car. Every time they flip 25 feet in the air and crash down, they blow up. Let's get out of here.
You had about a 2-year period there where Toxic Avenger was unrated, and then eventually you had to cut the film.
Well, the problem was we had the reason that our movies, we had to get our movies into the theaters and get a certain number of movie theaters to play them. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get the money from the video companies, which was where the big money was in those days. So we had to play, and the MPAA rating board would disavow our movies, but they'd leave all the serious blood in movies like the Bruce Willis movie, Die Hard, or other, those the big mainstream movies. They didn't seem to mind, but the independent movies, they cut to ribbons. So that's why when the Toxic Avenger 2 and 3 came out, they were cut down for the movie theaters, unfortunately. And the original Toxic Avenger, the French cut out exactly 30 seconds. 30 seconds in France, and the 13-year-olds could see it. And in Canada, 45 seconds. In the United States, 20 minutes was cut out by the MPAA if we wanted to get into movie theaters. Toxie, you signed up for Tromanow, right? Yeah. And Sarah's blind, but even she watches it. She listens to the, they have, yeah. Yes, exactly.
When I arrived dressed like this, he addressed me and was like, "Oh, we know those guys over there." And Lloyd Kaufman was there with them, and he goes, "You know that guy? Who is that?" And he goes, "Well, my kids know him as Uncle Mike." So from that point forward, throughout the entirety of the night, he called me Uncle Mike. It was pretty amazing. I got to hang out with him after the movies were played and everything, and he still was calling me Uncle Mike, which is awesome because he's Uncle Lloyd, and he's just a really cool guy. At one point, I was filming for my friend Nick, so that he could just be the Toxic Avenger at the event and take pictures with people, with Lloyd and everything. I leaned forward, and these horns that I made, they fell off like this. I scrambled to try and go back and put them on. When that happened, this is what happened next.
Uncle Mike, what are you doing there? I thought we was going to read it.
Lean down forward before.
Alpha goat, not goat, but Satan.
And I'm just glad someone was there to capture it, to capture that moment, because I thought it was hilarious. That was my night. It was pretty awesome.
Is there any movie that you've done that you've looked back on and wished you did a little different, or a piece different, or a different scene that you wanted to shoot that you weren't able to because of budget or anything?
I don't think budget was ever the issue, but I'm not like Edith Piaf. J'ai beaucoup de regrets. I do regret Toxic 2 and 3.
So I'm engaged to a budding, I guess, film director. What is your best relationship advice, or what's the best thing your wife could have done to support you in your journey?
What could my wife do to support me?
Or like, what is your
make more money? My wife, by the way, was the New York State Film Commissioner for 20 years, and now New York City Film Commissioner, and she produced one of the 3 producers of Hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm. Yeah, she's work. She's great. I think the most important thing is that your husband should listen to you, and you give him honest opinions of his screenplay.
I am giving out a very coveted piece of documentation, the Troma diploma.
Oh,
yes. Nicholas Howard.
Nicholas is Toxie's roommate.
So yeah, we met Lloyd Kaufman at an event. That kind of cemented things.
I got my Troma diploma.
I know.
That's really cool because you can't
buy one
those on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be awarded one.
When I had first made my email introduction with Lloyd, he had asked if I was a student, and I got to tell him that no, I was just an old ass tutu enthusiast. I told him that I had grown up on his movies and read his books, and he had been a major inspiration for me to make my own damn movie. And then he said the most shocking thing, which is that he'd like to see my movie. I told him I'd bring him a copy. And then Friday night, I had a thumb drive with my movie on it, and I handed it to him.
Oh, good night. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you.
You've entertained me plenty of times, so.
Well, good. You think it's Tromanow, maybe?
Appearances, but
it's funny.
we do have a lot of really cool cast members. Our son and our
I'm in it, but not like this.
Plus, I had a crazy.
I am. I'm not. I don't look like this in the movie though.
She said,
Uncle Mike's in it. Yeah.
Oh my God! If Uncle Mike's in
Nice.
I'm wearing a little less makeup than this.
Wow. Well,
And slightly smaller horns.
Like 30 minutes.
Okay. So about 9 years ago, when we hooked up for the first time,
I recorded, you know, the Meet Me in St. Louis song?
I saw it. Yeah.
I shared it with a bunch of friends today.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw my little gig?
So I'm a musical theater geek. Honey, I'm going to join an all-queer choir.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
You got a great talent for picking just the right cast. I just instantly fell in love with everybody.
It's the most devoted cast I've ever had. And crew too. They went through hell. Derek, especially. He was in the movie like Drop Master.
What did you guys use for the shit?
There are different kinds of shit. The whales, we filmed in Albania, so the whales were trained defecating whales. But, most of the shit was based on tapioca pudding.
Okay.
Oh.
I noticed there was a lot of corn.
Yes, especially.
I That's my morning has been. I woke up today and had to deal with the toxic waste smell.
Oh, yeah.
Cleanup crew came and cleaned out my basement because the sewer had backed up.
Oh my God.
Like,
It's been my big
last
toxic
week.
waste day. It is.
Last
We're
week.
living trauma.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
Reality imitates art.
It was a neat experience because people treat you like the monster and everybody loves the monster.
Perfect.
St. Andrew's Theater in St. Charles, Missouri was my theater growing up. It was a $1 show, and I've seen dozens of movies there. It's a place I've always loved. And so when we had December 15th as our release date for Tromanow, I kind of came to the conclusion that we needed to do a real proper premiere, that we needed to get the cast and crew together and watch this movie in front of a crowd. I reached out to St. Andrew's Cinema, who had recently reopened, and talked to them about renting a theater, and they were able to give me a very reasonable price, and I was able to raise the money in an afternoon. So we booked the theater and got the formatting done, got them a hard drive with the movie on it, and let people know when the premiere was. And we were able to hit capacity. I think we had 3 people sitting in folding chairs by the end of the night. Like, we packed that theater, and it was a really cool moment because I think me and Scott and Mike, who produced the movie, were afraid that we were going to have a small crowd who were quiet, and instead we absolutely fucking packed the house, and everybody laughed when they were supposed to. We got a standing ovation at the end of the night, and I really want to share that credit with Mike and Scott, who had to put up with my pain-in-the-ass drama queen shit the whole fucking time.
Well, without further ado, I'm very excited to bring to everyone Christmas Chaos, an oral history of the Stabaclaus.
What went wrong on premiere day was relatively nothing. I mean, it could have been a nightmare from a number of different angles, and at the end of the day, as much as I stressed about it beforehand, everything went great. People got to come in and take pictures with the monster, and I gave a short speech before the movie that wasn't at all what I had prepared because I completely choked. But the crowd really responded, and that's what was important. I feel like the people who had put in the hard work and put in the time and who had believed in me got to see that payoff. They got to see their performances get laughs, and got to see everything kind of cut together. I know everybody kind of knew their part, but had no idea what anybody else's part was going to be like. So it was exciting for me to get to show everyone who had come together and put in time and put in work on this, to get to see it all pay off, to see what it had become. And Lloyd, to his credit, did a fantastic, just a very funny intro for us that killed at the screening.
At this point, we're going to start moving it in. Yeah, when you waiting in the wings back here.
Yep.
And then when the Stabbage Patch starts, I want you to move your ass down there and dance.
Got it.
Keep the knife with you.
The Stabbage Patch?
Yeah, the Stabbage Patch.
Something that we kept as a surprise until the premiere was that Lloyd Kaufman himself recorded a special intro for our world premiere.
Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman, and I'm coming to you live via satellite from the world-famous Troma building, but I felt that your event, the world premiere of Christmas Chaos, was much too important to ignore. Yes, without people like Nicholas Howard, the world would just be full of corporate bullhunky and conspiracy of elites on a daily basis. That is why Troma Entertainment is always there to lend its full support, especially when there's an event like the world premiere of Christmas Chaos.
And you want to know why?
The world premiere of Christmas Chaos.
Favorite event of all time? It's because
the world premiere of Christmas Chaos
exemplifies all that's good about
St. Charles.
I also regret that I'm unable to visit the great city of
St. Charles.
Because this great city of
St. Charles
is my personal second home. I could also go on and on about how great
foot fetishism
it really is, but I wouldn't want to bore you, and you know all about it. So in closing, let me apologize yet once again for not being able to personally attend this incredibly wonderful event called
the world premiere of Christmas Chaos.
And of course, I'd like to apologize for not being able to come and visit the greatest city in the world,
St. Charles.
Cut. You're making me look good, right? You know, I'm a criminal. Look good. One thing is, I don't want to look like a fool. I mustn't look like it, right? He's got a potato in there. Did you get
The premiere went really well, and I was very happy to hear people's reactions. It was so amazing.
By 1984, the slasher horror movie market was at peak saturation. But few of its contemporaries enjoyed the same popularity and staying power as Stabaclaus, a franchise that has continued to star as it came again and again to entertain and terrorize horror fans everywhere.
It's interesting to me what got laughs and what didn't, and why.
She lights him on fire, pushes him down a staircase. I'm on fire! I'm dead now. And even then, he just gets up and flies away at the end because Ron thought, we can't just kill off the bad guy. What if people like it?
Well, we couldn't just kill the bad guy off. I mean, what if people would like them?
My favorite line, the one that I think consistently gets laughs, and I was thrilled to hear kill because it's me delivering it, is the Roger Ebert called that first picture a hate crime.
Roger Ebert called that first picture a hate crime.
In the truest sense of life imitating art, at the premiere, towards the very end, I got locked out of the theater.
For his big monologue. He has the final monologue. He gets the punchline of the movie. And him being locked out of the theater is kind of the most Edgar thing possible, if you think about it.
I didn't get to hear people's reactions to my speech at the very end.
And it was kind of a beautiful moment because watching the movie honestly made me very nervous. And so I kept getting up to smoke cigarettes or stand outside or, watching it in front of a crowd was a little bit nerve-wracking. But I had gotten up to smoke, and I heard him like kind of cue up the final monologue, and so I stopped and I watched from the back of the theater. And as he's pointing at the poster and kind of explaining the movie, and the big twist at the end, the crowd there was a hush, you know, and then there was a kind of a collective chuckle as people started to understand what it was he was saying, and it kind of got bigger and bigger, and then we get to the actual punchline, and I think people were laughing so hard at that point that the punchline didn't necessarily hit harder. It was a really cool moment because it had built to this thing, and people were reacting to it like earlier and harder than I was expecting. So it sucks that Mike, that was again his moment to really shine, missed getting to see that kill in front of a crowd.
I did get in right as the end credits started rolling, so I missed that whole thing.
People like a lot of different parts of it. I think a number of people have brought up the kind of the nods to the queer subtext in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, the bromance between Turd and Michael, depending on who you ask.
Hello. It's extra spooky now. I guess they forgot about us. No, I told them.
If I could just have everyone who is in this come down front, I'd love to get a picture.
I don't know that I cleaned it up. Stabbage. Me here. And anyone that has the capability of recording videos and pictures should also take pictures and videos. There, that's my time.
There were a few of us in there.
Yeah. He does.
Tall guys, probably in there.
Oh, he's tall.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
Everybody say Stabaclaus!
I didn't realize all the really short people were directly behind.
Is this your parole picture? What are you doing?
Thank everybody so much for coming out.
Woo!
Yes.
Say the line.
Come true for the majority of us up here. However, none of this would not have happened without him. Where are you, Mike? Give me a commercial. Hey!
Woo!
So, the parts in the movie where I'm basically drugging him to keep him going, that's how we got this printed.
So many pots of coffee, so much Mountain Dew.
Yeah. So, a lot of late nights, but
yeah. A little cocaine too.
Thank you all for taking some time out of your evening to come see our silly little picture. But for real, it's these two right here that made it happen.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So, close to 7 years ago. I was newly pregnant with our son. And we'd been watching a lot of like horror documentaries like Crystal Lake Memories, His Name is Jason, Never Sleep Again. And we're sitting there, and he looks at me and goes, I could do that. I could write that. I'm like, I bet you could. He got a script done. It was really funny. He edited. A year later, we shot our first scene, but shot the majority of it during COVID. Because we didn't have anything else to do. Right? None of us had anything else to do except for work on this.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad we did. Because...
we made it.
Yeah. This man is one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life. And I'm so blessed to have you.
Everybody for coming out. Make sure you get a picture with the killer on your way out if you haven't, and we'll be hanging out and saying hi to everybody.
Say the line, Bart.
All in all, I'd say I guess it was an okay experience. I want to move on from Stabaclaus, though. I really, really do. From the very beginning, from the get-go, I have hated this franchise. I did not want anything to do with it. I didn't want to make a Stabaclaus movie. I always thought it was dumb. I never wanted anything to do with that. Nothing. From the beginning. And I gotta say, I'm glad that it's over now and that I don't have to make any more of them.
Why would you say that you chose me to be Edgar Sim, or that you wrote the part so that it'd be more attuned to how I'd be able to play him?
So I knew Mike was going to play Edgar because he used to work for a car rental company. He would deal with customer service issues all day, and then when we would hang out, he would tell me these stories of the people who would spend the day screaming at him because he couldn't rent them a car because they had used cars they had rented to commit felonies, or because they had abandoned cars at airports, or because they would do awful, hideous things and just not understand the concept of consequences. And as he would tell these stories, I would watch his eyes grow cold and distant, like a war vet describing the atrocities he had witnessed. And I knew that was Edgar. I knew that if he could bring that resigned, dead inside rage to it, that would be the laughs we needed to get from Edgar.
What do you think was the thing that got the biggest laugh after premiere, besides the ending? If you had to say it, like one of the other things that was something that people like, or an unexpectedly big laugh, maybe.
I would say the biggest laugh of the night was probably when I stood up to go to the bathroom and I accidentally stepped on my pants and exposed my micro penis to the crowd. That haunts my nightmares to this day.
Well, it's been a long road to self-acceptance, but with intensive therapy and unconditional positive regard on my part, he's really come to terms with the fact that it's little.
After the premiere was over, like in the after party, what are some of the things people wanted to talk to you most about the movie?
Most of the people brought up that micro penis thing. They were like, was that a prosthetic? Did you have a pinky grafted to your leg? What is that? What happened? Are you a Ken doll? And I would just be like, it was dark. I'm wearing a body stocking. And some of them believed it.
What are some of your favorite behind-the-scenes moments from filming Christmas Chaos that you remember?
When we were shooting, I used to put antifreeze in Mike Trupiano's beverages because it was fun to me to see the worry on his face when he thought he was having a stroke. Like, he'd start slurring his words pretty hard, and he'd just seem confused and frightened, and we'd laugh.
Raping him. Rape.
Rape me.